I'm not the bad guy for asking my friend to stop commenting on my body. Hi, I'm 23, female, and my friend of 5 years is 24, female. My friend, let's call her Anna, is larger than me. I recently lost a lot of weight and she never commented on my body before I lost the weight. Now I feel like I can contribute to any conversation because a lot of times when I do, she tells me, well, you're skinny, so. For instance, we were talking about our favorite yogurt. And when I told her mine, and Anna goes, well, of course you can eat that, you're skinny. Or when we were at the bar, we were talking about our love of pizza with another friend, and she instantly interrupted me and said, yeah, well, you're skinny, you can eat whatever you want. It's literally about anything. What I wear, what I go do, where I travel to, where I had dinner or where I went to lunch, who I hang out with, besties, her, etc. Our friendship is so different than it used to be. It's not that these comments make me insecure about my body, but oftentimes she makes me feel like what I have to contribute to the conversation is not valuable. I feel like I can't say anything without being reminded that there is a size difference between us now. I never brag or complain about my body or anything, but she still finds a way to bring it up. It's almost every time we hang out to the past maybe 1-2 years. I don't make negative comments about what I used to look like before weight loss, but I don't ever make comments about her body either. Only when she informs me on her recent accomplishments, where I tell her I'm proud of her because I know she struggles. I sent her a message the only day about what she said at the bar saying I don't appreciate when you comment on my body, especially when it has nothing to do with the conversation we are having. When you make these comments, it makes me feel like I've said or done something wrong. She replied saying, it's a compliment, but okay. So, am I the bad guy about this? Am I the bad guy for telling my wife not to talk to my dad, but I will continue to? A month ago, my oldest turned 16. For his 16th birthday, the plan was to let him skip school, get to the DMV when it opens, take the driving test, go on a small road trip, be back around when school gets out, and then all go out for a family dinner. On the weekend will be his celebration with her friends. Skipping school for the DMV test was planning in advance, but the road trip was a surprise. A few days before the road trip, my wife asked me to take our 3-year-old with me that day. I said I wasn't taking a toddler to the DMV. That place is a cesspit. Also, the road trip is for additional driving practice before he is able to drive unsupervised. A toddler distracting him is not a good idea. My wife said she wanted the day to herself. And if I wasn't willing to take our toddler, the birthday stuff needs to be moved to the weekend so I can. I said I will take our toddler to work with me the next day, but our oldest birthday is his day, so he's priority. She got angry and said she's made 100 sacrifices for our kids and saying she's isn't a priority, not what I said, is disgusting. It was a big fight. My son's birthday, she texted me that I'm a bad guy multiplied items. At the dinner, she was in a bad mood. After everyone ate, my dad asked us to go out to the parking lot. We handed the keys to his car to my son, saying he was getting a new one. He also said he would continue to pay the insurance for a year. My wife asked me if I knew about this, and I didn't. She didn't believe me. My wife has called and texted my dad multiple times, asking if he's going to do this for all of our kids, saying he shouldn't have done this without asking us first and telling him if he can do this for all the kids, he needs to take the car back. Eventually, he told her shut up and stop bothering him. My wife told me I need to stop talking to my dad. She said he used offensive language. He texted, "Stop bothering me, woman," which she says is sexist. Towards her, I need to support her. I said she needs to stop talking to my dad, not me. I will support her not talking to him. My wife said I'm disrespecting her, that I won't listen when she says she needs help, and let my family treat her poorly. I think she's creating this situation herself. She looks for offense and then finds it. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for telling my elderly neighbor off for spraying insect killer? A couple of years ago, we bought a house with a garden. Our elderly neighbor does not like change much, and we have had a few disagreements already about where we place the kids' swing set, the flowers we were planting, the beds we were keeping in, and etc. We have tried to be accommodating where we could. I have a few food-related health issues and therefore grow some food myself because I need to eat a lot of fresh produce. My kids love the fresh fruit and berries too. When I was pregnant, I spent weeks on my knees digging up a garden bed on a formerly unused plot of land, where my property borders on said neighbors. I planted not invasive berry bushes. Since my neighbor is retired already, she watched me working and we have talking about my plans and why I was doing it. Everything was fine. A couple of weeks later, I was inside and movement outside made me look out of the window. I saw her boyfriend with a huge garden spray canister spraying something unrecognizable on their hedge at the border between our properties. He doused them thoroughly and a lot of the spray landed on my new bushes. I waddled outside and confronted him about it. He tried to deny it and hid the canister. After more insistence on my part, he confessed to treating his bushes to some insecticide. He kept denying that my plants were hid despite them being only 2 feet away and despite me seeing him to do it out of the window. It took me 2 days of begging for my neighbor to show me the can so I could check what was used. Had it checked out by a doctor and a gardener. Turns out my produce could not be used for a whole year due to harmful ingredients. I told my neighbor off for poisoning the food my kids and me were planning on eating, and for doing it secretly. No telling what will have happened to the baby. It was a lucky coincidence that I happened to spot them doing it. Now she is bad-mouthing me in the neighborhood, and I was approached by people about being unreasonable. She can do what she wants in her garden, and I'm too paranoid and sensitive. When they were kids, they ate food after it being sprayed and nothing bad happened. Am I the really bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for leaving my number on the bill? So, I'm male 26. I went out for dinner last night with a few friends. We were at this pretty nice restaurant and our waitress caught my eye as soon as we sat down. I thought she was really cute and had a great sense of style. Her outfit was really unique and just seems to suit her perfectly. Anyway, throughout the night, she was really friendly and attentive, and I couldn't help but keep noticing her. After a while, I decided to go for it and compliment her on her outfit. I said something like, "Hey, I just wanted to say that you look really cute tonight, and your outfit is amazing. It suits you so well." She seemed to take the compliment well, smiling and thanking me. Later on, as we were finishing up our meal, I decided to write my number on the bill and leave it for her, just in case she was interested in talking more or even going on a date. When I handed her the bill, I told her, "I hope this isn't too forward, but I really enjoyed talking to you tonight and thought you might like to get in touch if you're interested." She took the bill and thanked me, but I noticed her smile seemed a bit forced this time. I figured maybe she wasn't interested, and that was fine. I didn't want to push her or make her feel uncomfortable. After we left the restaurant, my friends told me that what I did was inappropriate and that I shouldn't have put her on the spot like that at her workplace. They said it's not okay to hit on service workers who are just trying to do their job. I genuinely didn't mean any harm, and I thought it was being polite and respectful about it. I'm not the bad guy for not including my girlfriend on an overseas trip. I'm someone who has dreamed of going to Japan for the longest time. I've told this to my girlfriend a couple of times before during our relationship. Between us, I'm more capable on traveling because I'm the one who earns more. I had this intense urge to travel to Japan this year, and I was actually telling her to come with me a few times, but she told me that she couldn't afford to travel to Japan yet. When I got the chance to buy cheap road trip tickets, I informed her briefly, but I went ahead and booked for myself. Of course, she was understandably upset. We talked about this, and the main reason she was upset was because it felt to her like I didn't include her in my decision, and that I was super impulsive. She also told me that it hurts not being able to have the capability of traveling with me. I told her that I understand, and I'm sorry for being selfish, but I wanted to take this urge to travel solo even though she couldn't come. I also let her know that we can travel to other places in the future when circumstances allow us to. I truly understand where my girlfriend is coming from. Now I feel really guilty of what I've done, and I'm thinking of not going anymore. It's really thought of me because, of course, I want to share these experiences with her, but I also wanted to really pursue this trip for myself, even though I'm alone. So, what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for being annoyed that my wife scratched our new car. Bought a new family car 2 days ago. Wife wanted a SUV. Got a 4 years old car in great condition. Collected the car 2 days ago. My wife said a few times that when she first drives the car, she wants to be in a quiet area. She struggles with anxiety in general. We start off this morning and I'm already feeling a bit nervous. But to my surprise, she said she will drive the whole way. She did, however, mention a couple of times that I need to not be me today. I'm a quite nervous passenger and can easily feel unsafe. The drive out went okay. I thought she misjudged how close we were to the side of the road a couple of times. On the way back, she's saying she feels quite confident in the car and that she knows how wide it is. I kept quiet at this point, hoping not to dampen her confidence. We get closer to home, and she goes a different way, asks me to Google the road. I direct her, but again, she decides to do her own thing, and takes us down a single track road. We're driving along and she clips the mirror again. At this point, I say, "You've just hit that bush with the mirror. If it looks close to you, then it's double close to me." She starts laughing at me, no idea why, and I have to tell her I'm being serious. We carry on a bit and there is potholes. Then all of a sudden she steers the car left and scrapes it down the bushes for maybe 5-10 meters. I could hear it scraping the side of the car loads. I didn't react the best. Put my head in the air and shouted, "You're so close." She explained that there were a massive pothole about 4 foot across, and she was worrying around it. I kinda digested that for a bit and apologized for shouting at her. We reached the garden center and looked up the side of the car. It's got tons of scratches down the whole passenger side. She apologized and said she will pay for it to be polished out. She nips into garden center, and I'm kinda still processing the whole thing, so by the time she gets back I'm obviously grumpy. She reiterates that she was trying to avoid the pothole to avoid damaging tires, suspensions, steering, and keeping us safe in doing so. I told her I didn't think I would have done the same, since those things can all be replaced and usually fairly cheaply. I also asked her why she didn't brake and go over the pothole really slowly, but she said she didn't see it in time. She then gets up with me and refuses to drive home, and has been getting upset with me ever since, saying she never wanted to do that drive and that she's never driving with me as a passenger in that car again. I'm baffled because you're unlikely to ruin suspension, etc. on one pothole. And on the tire front, they are literally made to be replaced, so I would have just changed the wheel. So, what do you think? Write in the comments below.